It's still cold outside, but I'm thinking spring. It's the Real Estate Show. Happy holidays and the best for the new year, and welcome. This is the Real Estate Show. My name's Rick Naples, broker owner of Zone Realty LLC. You zone your home. Spring, it's coming, I promise. It's cold outside, there's still some snow on the ground. We're just getting through the holiday season, celebrating the new year, looking forward to spring. And the reason why I say looking forward to spring is many reasons. Of course, we all look forward to the warmer weather. But as a realtor, I start to look at the spring season as one of the more busier seasons for selling or buying a home. Now that happens because of a couple of factors. Number one, you have a lot of new sellers putting their homes on the market in the warmer weather. It's natural, it happens every year. But you also have the number of houses that were on the market in the late fall or in the early winter that took a break. They came off of the market because of the cold weather and are now coming back on into the total inventory of homes that are for sale. So it's kind of a 1-2 punch. It's also a great time to look at purchasing a home. If you make your deal and you find the home you want to purchase, you're going to be moving into it during the warmer weather. You know, realtors always have to think 1 or 2 months ahead. A house comes on the market, it may take 40, 60, 80 days before an acceptable contract comes in on that particular home. Once that acceptable contract comes in, now you have to go through the appraisal process, the home inspection process, and all the different steps before you can get to a closing. And that could add another 45 to 60 days. So you could be looking at 4 to 5 months from the time the house comes on the market till the time the house closes. So if you put your house on early in the year, you'd be closing during the warmer weather. So you always got to kind of think ahead. Now, what's going to happen for this new year as far as the real estate market is concerned? Well, some articles have started to come out and made some predictions. Now, I here on the Real Estate Show, as a broker, in the past, I've made predictions on what I see from my personal experience in the past year as to what the next year is going to do as far as the real estate markets are concerned. All the indications are is we're going to have a very good year in 2018 as far as real estate is concerned. But there are some things we need to keep our eyes on, such as tax reform, such as changes to the different laws that are in our state, and other things that are going to affect the real estate market. But some things hold true. For instance, we know that home prices are on the rise. Now I say this because we have been in a little bit of a lull for a while. But the good news for sellers out there is we're starting to see the prices on homes begin to rise. Now that's bad news for buyers. On the other hand, we're also seeing mortgage interest rates go up. Now we enjoyed low rates for a long time. We're going to see those rates continue to go up. They're still going to be at historic lows, folks. So it's nothing to really get upset about. But if you were one of those fortunate people that purchased a home and secured a mortgage loan at, say, 3% or 3.25%, those days have passed. You're now going to see mortgage loans at a little bit higher of a rate than where we saw them before. I found an article on Realtor.com that kind of puts it all in perspective as to where 2018 is going to be, and I thought I'd share some of those interesting facts through this presentation. Let's take a look. On a future real estate show, I'll be talking more about the spring season and how that overall compares to some of the other seasons that are out there. But as I said, I'm thinking spring. And again, as a realtor, I'm always thinking ahead of the game because of the time it takes to put a deal together and get a house to closing. If you're looking to put your home on the market, that's one of the things that you have to consider. What is your timing? Do you need to put your home on earlier in the year in order to be able to close towards the mid part of the year? Or do you want to put it on now so you can close during the earlier part of the spring? As I've said on the real estate show, there's an old saying, people like to move during the warm weather. Well, here in New England, because we have the seasonal changes, timing becomes a very important factor as to when you want to time the move on your home. You also have to look at the different things that affect your life, whether it's a job transfer, a change in your family matrix, maybe a divorce, a new marriage, a birth, whatever the situation might be, children going back to school or coming out of school, and so on and so forth. All those things are going to help affect the decision when it comes time to sell your home. Now, realtors are thinking spring. When I'm filming this show, I'm towards the end of 2017, and this should air just about towards the end of the year, beginning part of the year. And we're thinking already this spring season. Spring normally comes in the March-April period, but of course, as realtors, we're thinking as early as February. We want to start to gain some momentum when a house goes on the market. Now, it's true that a house is going to get listed and there may still be some sloppy weather around. There could be snow on the ground, Christmas decorations are just coming off the house, and a number of different things are in there. But you want to start to build a momentum. As I said, you have to always think 45 to 60 days ahead of schedule when it comes to selling the home. And that doesn't include the marketing time. So again, you can put your home on the market. You might be looking at a couple of months before you get an acceptable contract, and then another couple of months before you're actually able to close. So if you put your home on February, you might be looking at a June closing. If you put it on in March, you might be looking so on and so forth. So you want to kind of take a look at the marketplace, what's going on, and what your timing is going to be. Let's look at this presentation where I express some more ideas about the spring coming season and think warm thoughts. As the cold weather starts to go away and we start to think spring, some of our attention is going to turn to the tradition of spring cleaning. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to take to go through and assess what you have in the home and what needs repair or replacing. You know, as the snow melts and it goes away, we start to see how our house survived the winter months. Sometimes we start to see a little bit of damage that may have been caused because there's been snow piled up against the siding during the winter season, and we have to look at ways to repair that. Sometimes because of debris on the ground, we'll see that there are things that need to be fixed as far as the yard or the landscaping is concerned. And I don't know about you, but I've always had the experience where there's always a flowering bush or a tree or something along those lines that didn't make it through the cold winter season and is not blooming once the warmer weather comes. And you have to look at either pruning or taking that out and replacing it and so on and so forth. The other thing for spring cleaning that you do is you start to go through all your stuff. And again, you know, I say as a professional stager, one of the big things you could do in preparing your home for sale is to eliminate the clutter. Now, we've had over the winter time, all our heavy jackets have been out, our boots, our gloves, and so on and so forth, snow shovels, snow brushes, whatever. Time to put all that stuff away. Time to look at starting to get rid of the clutter, to open things up. As the weather gets warmer, it's time to look at your windows, do your regular window cleaning, make sure that a lot of sunlight gets into the house, that everything looks bright and clean, because again, you want to always show your house in the best possible way. Here's a quick list of some spring cleaning ideas to keep your thoughts towards spring that I'd like to share with you. Let's talk about pictures of homes that are for sale. You know, it's one of the goals of a realtor to take good, high quality photographs for the listing presentation when they're putting a home on the market for sale. I mean, their job is to try and make the home look its best, highlight its features, and do that through photographs and descriptions to get buyers to come out and take a look at the home. Now, during the winter months, it's kind of hard to get good exterior pictures. You have snow on the ground, you got cloudy weather. It's really hard to take those exterior pictures. So you'll find a lot of times when you're looking on the internet at homes that are for sale during the winter months, there's a lot of concentration of pictures of the interior of the house rather than the exterior. One of the things I had a buyer say to me when we were looking at homes during winter, there happened to be about 6 to 8 inches of snow on the ground. They were looking at a yard, and the yard looked really nice. It was clean, it was pristine with all that snow. You know, the snow wasn't all muddled up from people going through it or whatever. It was actually kind of pretty. But what she said to me was, I wonder what it looks like when there's no snow there. Snow can hide a lot of sins. If you happen to take pictures of your home during the warmer season because you're planning to put it on later in the year, that's a great thing, because if you can have those pictures and give them to your realtor has the opportunity to showcase what the yard looks like before all the snow fell. But like I said, pictures become a very, very important part. Now, don't get upset at your realtor if the realtor decides to move some things around, with your permission, of course, when they're taking photographs. Again, they want to highlight the best features possible in your home. So stagers do this all the time, and realtors will do it also. Before they take a picture, they may ask you to remove some personal pictures from the wall. They may ask for you to move a piece of furniture out of the way. They could ask you to change a couple of quick things to get the best picture they possibly can. It's important that the pictures express the home in the best, true, possible light. Many, many buyers start their search on the internet. It's the popular way to start looking for a home. And pictures, well, pictures worth 1,000 words. I don't know if you heard that or not, but my furnace just clicked on. You know, the weather's still cold, so of course I'm still using the heat. But that reminds me that one of the things you can do once the warmer weather comes, or the spring season, is pay attention to the utilities to the house. The furnace is one of those items. A lot of us have scheduled service time on the furnace or the heating system for the home. And that's really important. See, one of the things that a home inspector looks for, or a potential buyer is going to look for, is the condition of the furnace, how old the furnace is, and whether or not it's been maintained. It's really important that your service contractor that comes in and does your regular service on your furnace leaves one of those service tags behind so others can see the timing of that. It takes a lot of worry off the shoulders of a buyer. Let's take a look at this, and I'll be back with the section I call the real estate mailbag. This is the portion of the real estate show I call the real estate mailbag. It's the opportunity for me to answer questions that are emailed to me here at the real estate show or might be asked to me when I'm out and about in the general public. Even sometimes things that come up in general conversations with fellow realtors when I'm at different realtor events. One of the interesting conversations that came up was, what can you do, or what's the easiest thing to do when you're looking to put a home on the market? What's the quickest, the cheapest, the most inexpensive thing that you can do in preparing your home for the marketplace? Well, I'm a big fan of paint. You know, I talk about paint a lot here on the real estate show. Paint is the easiest thing in order to freshen up a room or even freshen up the house. One of the worst things is you don't want to have on the exterior of the house anything that looks lousy, like cracking or peeling paint. That's going to cause a lot of attention, and it's going to get a lot of different people looking at it and not looking at the house. My name is Rick Naples. I thank you very much for watching the Real Estate Show. I'll see you next time.